everybody, welcome back. Alright, so tonight I'm going to hopefully play some more Outer Worlds. We'll see. Last weekend I had a lot of issue for some odd reason, so I'm keeping an eye on my performance on my computer to see what happens if I run into issues. Maybe I can figure out what was causing it. But for the meantime, I'm going to load up from where I crashed last time, and hopefully we can wrap up the first planet and get off of it and figure out what the hell I'm doing. So, let's do this thing. As it so happens, I'm also using a keyboard that I wasn't using before because that keyboard decided to stop working properly, so...
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. Music to my ears.
Let's see here. Shock stick. Cool. Alright. Let's see. Cool. Alright, let's see where we were. Okay, so our job was to figure out... We gotta divert power from the geothermal plant.
Something got you down?
Nothing. Just don't want to fall sick.
And I was trying to figure out a way to do it that could please everybody. I know how hard that is in this game, but my speech, my persuasion should be pretty high. So, let's head back to the geothermal plant, I think. Yeah. Yes, I am very aware I'm a people pleaser. It is a curse. Actually. Alrighty. A little twitchy just because I'm keeping an eye on my computer's performance. McKenna! So far so good. At least I'm hoping. I'm watching my stats on Task Manager off on the side. No twitchiness yet. Hoping. I'm hoping it'll hold up. Knock on wood. So, let's, right now I'm just gonna figure out what the hell I'm doing about diverting power, and see how that works out.
Excuse me, ma'am. Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do?
I wouldn't mind hearing your opinion.
I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished.
Reed tells me Edgewater's going to die without workers in power.
That sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way.
The deserters are a community. I can't just destroy what they built.
Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred?
I see your point. I think I'm ready to make a decision.
Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something.
I'm glad you did. I like hearing from you.
Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Same. I love Parvati. She's so sweet. I'm gonna save. I know where this is going, and I'm not sure how I want to respond, so to speak. I know. I wish I could romance Parvati, but I get it. Parvati's ace, if I remember correctly, asexual, right? If I remember correctly. Just super cute, though. I love her. She's my favorite character I've met in the game so far, but like some of the later ones I love as well, just because they're as eccentric and crazy. I haven't gotten used to Max yet. I don't know, something about him rubs me the wrong way. Alright, plant status. I do get to be the wingman though. Yeah, I get to be the best wingman. I did start that in my first playthrough, and I never finished that playthrough, so... but I was aiming for that. Alright. Let's redirect power. Okay, continue. Alright, I'm gonna redirect the power to Edgewater, and I'm gonna see if I can convince the deserters to come back. They're gonna be pissed at me by the time I get there, but I'm hoping they'll understand my decision. I think what I'm doing is right. Alright. Spacer's Choice is a very select group. Okay. Yes, I figured the deserters' reputation would be decreased. Now I'm gonna go show my face in their town, and they're gonna hate me, but I gotta do it. I gotta see if I can convince them to come back. Where is that? Reputation. They still revere me. So, you know, killing off the society doesn't really hurt all that much, I guess. Oh, I jumped over the log the other way, but I can't get over it this way. Fine. Confused. That's me every day. It's just my natural state of being.
Great work.
What was that? Might swap to that actually, because that's some medium. Increases melee skills, which isn't really a big deal for me. Maybe I like the stealth on that for now. We'll see, I'll hold on to it. Alright, so hopefully I won't get shot on sight. We'll see if we can't negotiate their return. Actually, now that I think about it, I gotta pull Task Manager back to the front so I see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you got shot walking into work, I think a lot of us would be upset. Alright, so Adelaide's gonna be pissed at me. I have to talk her down.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it?
I'm debating between these top two. This isn't personal, Adelaide. I need your power regulator.
You killed my garden, destroyed my community, sentenced my flock to a lifetime of slavery in Edgewater for a power regulator. Well, shit, I wish it was personal. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management.
I'm willing to deal with Reed for you.
You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together.
Reed isn't gonna just leave his post. I'll need some help convincing him.
Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
You think that'll convince Reed to step down?
I have got a means
Yeah.
to cure the plague.
It was
And
people
I will not
all
share
along.
that cure until Reed leaves town. Those are my terms.
Adelaide's garden was people. I mean, they're dead, right? Like, I mean, the whole cannibalism thing isn't really a factor because they're just using the nutrients to grow produce. So that's not the worst thing, right? Like, Yeah, like they're not eating the people. I don't know. I'm trying to justify this because it is kind of weird. She murdered them for land development.
What happened? Sprat fell into a transformer again? Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild canids, on the other hand.
There's nothing left for you here. It's time to go back to Edgewater.
The matter's been weighing on me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in? I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here. I'm loath to admit it. We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again.
Why not?
Edgewater's not just a town to Adelaide. It's a symbol of everything that's wrong with this colony. A big, heartless machine of metal and gears grinding workers down to dust. We're the closest thing Adelaide's got to a family. We go back to Edgewater, she's gonna feel betrayed.
I mean, to be fair, Adelaide's the one grinding people down into dust, but we're not going to talk about that. And don't do anything hasty. I'm going to try to talk Reed into stepping down.
Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead.
You won't survive without power. It's time to go back to Edgewater.
I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again.
So don't work at the cannery. You wanted to be an engineer.
You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her.
Yeah, Grace said the same thing about Adelaide.
Adelaide hates Edgewater, hates everything Edgewater stands for, hates what that town does to people, what it did to her. We're the nearest she's got to kin. We go back to Edgewater, we may as well have stuck a knife in her heart.
Stay put. I'm going to try to talk Reed into stepping down.
You know where to find me.
How do you expect me to enjoy the adventures of the masked marketeer with no power?
Carefully. Alright. So, let's go see if we can talk Reed into leaving.
Another day at the cannery.
Don't go knocking your work. At least we've got...
Something got you down?
Nothing. Just don't want to fall sick.
I'm going to do a quick save on a new file just because I'm getting nervous. Just twitchy. The game's, you know, holding up, at least according to the stats over here. So, I'm just being twitchy. Oh, I tried. Alright, Reed.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, When can I expect them back at their posts?
I spoke to Adelaide. She won't come back as long as you're here.
Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best for this town.
A change of leadership might be what this town needs.
I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home.
It's not that I don't like the elevator music, I've heard it one too many times. Well, thank you for the follow. Alright, say freelancer. Yeah. Alright, Adelaide's people aren't getting sick with plague.
I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life.
I
Best
do too.
treatment is a good work ethic.
The town doesn't eat anything but salt tuna. Of course you're gonna get sick.
You are disparaging our parent company, and it is not appreciated. We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat saltuna here, and only saltuna.
When do you get to the point where you threaten this guy with murder? I'm trying not to. I'm trying to see if I can talk him out of here. I'm pretty sure it's your food that's making you sick. You need Adelaide's garden.
I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse.
Adelaide's found a way to grow food. She'll come back if you step down.
You will excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil?
Yeah. Special fertilizer. All I know is that it involves some really complicated math and it works.
If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me.
This can't be easy for you.
I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy.
What are your plans?
A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them.
Why not?
No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement.
You won't last a day outside the walls, you know.
I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week.
You don't have to do this, you know.
I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crop. She's what this town needs.
Take care. Well, I guess that worked out. To some degree or another. I kind of feel bad for Reed. He's very taken by the company, in a sense. And it's not that he's wrong per se as a person. It's just I don't know. I feel bad for him. Wait, there's hostiles nearby? Weird. The game was threatening me. Alright, Adelaide.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
I talked Reed into leaving. Come back to Edgewater.
I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward.
Edgewater's better off with you running the place.
You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
Take care. Oh, wait. I need this thing. Twisted is a word. It's not wrong, per se.
I know, I'm trying to think.
Alright. I left something behind here, so we're gonna grab it real quick. Antique saber. All right. I think I've done just about everything I can in the Emerald Vale. So look at that. Half an hour in, already wrapping up here. Alright. Let's travel back to the landing site. I haven't checked this back corner over here, so I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll board the Unreliable and get out of here. I'm going to be like twitchily saving through this whole thing. Old wreckage. Lots of corpses strewn about. Alright, let's board the Unreliable. Figure out what the heck we're gonna do next. And where we're going.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
I understand not wanting to go back. You didn't seem happy in Edgewater. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
How could I turn her down? I love Pravati. I'd be glad to have you along. Pick a cabin, it's yours.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, ma'am. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
So cute. Alright.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Probably for the best. Alright.
Nice.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain?
I have a power regulator.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
I'll be back. I like Ada as well. My ship is about as snarky as I am. Cool.
What can I do for you, Captain?
I've installed the power regulator.
All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Let's get out of here. Getting a little bit of a stutter.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Oh, yay. Good, I've been waiting to hear from him.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the Unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
I've been feeling a little lightheaded, also I can slow down time.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Okay. Why do I need a nav key to land on a planet?
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly.
Right, the black marketeer.
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
Fine, I'll have a go have a word with Gladys.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
You want to explain what a holographic shroud is?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits, first-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
You mentioned this thing has limitations.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Why do I need a gadget for this? Couldn't I just steal a uniform or something?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
Oh. How the hell does a hologram sweeten your breath?
Science, that's how.
Yeah, I got told. People will actually fall for this seems far-fetched.
The beauty is they don't expect it. The shroud is the only one of its kind. We humans have a tendency to overlook the unexpected. Activate the disguise, walk past someone. What do they see? A figure dressed like a fellow employee. don't act odd. They won't focus on you.
I'll put it to good use. Thanks.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Got it. Whoa. Okay. Got turned around there for a second. Alright, let's head upstairs. Check out the room. See what we got.
Make yourself at home, Captain.
That is special. Adelaide's deserters dreamed of an independent life without board oversight. You taught them an important lesson. Never dream. The holographic shot projects disguise on you and your companions that gives you access to restricted areas, provided you have the correct ID cartridge for that area. Cool. Oh, and I leveled up. Alright, shoot. Okay, my long gun's maxed out now. It's at 50. So I can level that independently if I want. Get it up to 60. Gives me headshot damage. Let's do that. No. Let's push Persuade to 50. And I'll dump the rest here. Well, hopefully my Persuade's high enough that I can just talk my way out of those pretty easily. And we're gonna slow the world. Your Max has a perk. Okay. Cool. Okay. What else do we got? Sentry Saber. Alright, let's check the computer. Alright. Messages for Alex Hawthorne. His unread messages. One from you, Bedford. Oh, I forgot to mention in my previous message, silly me, I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite serial, The Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about a dashing space pirate with a heart of, well, steel. It's not exactly board approved, so don't go showing it around to your spacer buddies. I hope it amuses you while you're out adventuring. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. Oh boy, a whole bunch of archived messages. Bedford. Dear Alex, dearest Alex, I can't tell you how pleased I am to finally hear from you. Your message was hilarious. I'm delighted by your sense of humor and the tale of your hijinks. I hope your terminal will cooperate for the foreseeable future. By the by, I was scraping Groundbreaker's comm network for tasty little tidbits, and I noticed you declined to dock at Edgewater's landing pad and instead touched down in the wilderness. You rugged individualist, you. I only pray that idiot Thompson wasn't giving you any trouble. Anyway. Yes, he does. He does sound very thirsty. Anyway, I hope your meeting down on Terra 2 proves fruitful, and I look forward to corresponding with greater regularity. Alex, I don't know where you were raised, but I'd hazard a guess it may have been a barn, because anyone with even a modicum of decent rearing would know it's unforgivably rude to ignore the ardent, sincere message of one's friends. Please respond. Dear Alex, hello. Hope this finds you well. It was a pleasure to see you in my office again. In my office again last week. I have a speech problem. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about the impounding mix-up. How could it have happened a second time? Terminals these days, I swear, dreadfully unreliable. Just like your ship. I hope you've given some thought to that thing we discussed. You know, about the Wells fella. I'm so sorry to press, but I have the strangest tickling feeling that you really do know him. And if you could just tell me where he is, well, it would be marvelous for our friendship, wouldn't it? Looking forward to seeing you again, wingman. Dear Alex, hello, Udom here, Udom Bedford. We met when I accidentally impounded your ship, my silly fat fingers embarrassing me once again. I hope that wasn't too terribly inconvenient for you. It was such a pleasure for me, and I tremendously appreciate your forbearance and not throttling me. You really are quite the gentleman. If you're ever in Groundbreaker airspace, well, space, please don't hesitate to look me up. Lost Hope serves Spectrum vodka. Perhaps we could try every color. You know, really tie one on. Let me know. Alright, his sent message. Look, there's no call for shouting. My terminal was busted. Had a few too many and might have knocked it off the desk. You know how it is. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose. I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay off. Buy me a drink at the Last Hope next time I'm in, and I might forgive you. Alright, we got some logs. Shrink ray. Note to self. Remember this later. No better. Ada, remind me weekly to check this log until I tell you to stop. Yes, I mean continually. No, Ada, not if I'm dead. Why would you even ask that? No reason. Back to my point. I saw in actuality, with my own two eyes, a sublimely powerful weapon in Wells' lab, just sitting there for the taking. If the gray hair were to look away or forget about it, maybe, or if I had asked a smidgen more nicely. He called it a shrink ray, but wouldn't let me test that claim after I lost my temper. He said he was inspired to create the thing by the achievements of other scientists who dared push the boundaries of human knowledge and decency laws. I had heard rumors of fantastical weapons like this one, weapons that push the boundaries of the mind and science's cutting edge, but I figured they were just stories. To be honest, laying eyes on Wells' shrink ray firsthand is enough to make a fellow wonder if there's more to the rumors. More to be had. Titled Hammer Power. The last time I got sloshed, was imbibing at the Lost Hope on the Groundbreaker. Look, Udom was really free with the drinks. He seems like an okay fellow. I shamelessly but suddenly eavesdropped on two Mardettes yammering on about a mad scientist some years back who claimed he'd made a huge discovery that would change the fate of the colony. Like none of us had ever heard that one before. But here is the good part. The Mardet said the mad scientist kept yelling about the hammer's power or something similar. A strange weapon with a special power created by a crazy lab coat? Sure fits the bill. Could be another one of those weapons that inspired Wells. Log entry 3. Black market leads. Why won't Wells just give me the shrink ray to me? Blast him to the depths of the labyrinth and Tartarus and back. Let the record show I did apologize for shouting him down 5 times. But architect be damned, I'm just sitting there neglected and gathering dust. But it's just sitting there neglected and gathering dust. I should have commandeered it and thanked him without asking permission or breaking expensive equipment when he said it wasn't ready yet. And that even if it were, he couldn't have entrusted it to someone like me. What does that even mean, I ask? That I'm not trustworthy enough? That I'd use it to wipe out the good, hardworking folks of the colony like some sort of moralist psycho? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now, I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he's misplaced it. In the meantime, I've been tracking down additional rumors pertaining to those other of these science weapons throughout Halcyon. Gossip holds true. My next step will be to check with the black market merchants on the Groundbreaker and in Fallbrook. Alright, so, weapons from the void. I want to try and get a hold of some of those science weapons because I am working up science, so... Adelaide's watch. An antique that's been in her family for years. She says it could fetch a good price. The mechanical marvel keeps perfect time in various gravities, including 0G. However, do not get it wet. or subjected to temperatures over 350 degrees Kelvin or under 270 degrees Kelvin. Or read it. Also grab that sword, but I don't know where that is. Anyway.
Is it time for your regular daily period of unconsciousness?
Not yet. It's too early. Alright. Take a look around. It's a robot. Okay. Ask Ada about the SAM unit.
Yeah, so this is my hidey spot now. I was looking for a place that was quiet. I figured the kitchen would be louder than the hold, so here I am. Cozy like, ain't it?
Let's see. Did you learn your trade from your father? It sounded like it when you talked to Reed.
Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office near all my life. Mr. Thompson never let me forget how funny that was.
I don't see the humor.
He meant funny as in odd. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parents. You take a vocational test. That decides your schooling and your career. When I tested out for maintenance, everyone figured it was on account of my dad. They were real unhappy with us.
Why would people be unhappy about you getting a maintenance job?
Because they were hoping their own kid would get the job and get sent back to Edgewater. When folk go away for schooling, they don't get back to where they begun. Not usually. You go straight to your first job, wherever the company's got an opening.
You don't have any say in it at all?
I reckon you could say, no thanks, I don't want a job. But then you don't got a job.
One aptitude test determines your whole life?
They're powerful good tests. They rattled off this whole list of names who'd worked on them, with fancy bits hanging off them. Doctors and esquires and the thirds. Even if you don't believe they actually catch what everybody's best at, everybody's got to take them. So at least it's fair-ish.
But you actually are good at this and enjoy it.
Well, I'm good at making things work the way they ought. Not so much at doing such to somebody else's schedule. There's times I'm working deep in the guts of a loader, getting it all running perfect. Then I look up to see it's tomorrow and I've blown another deadline. Anyhow, I was happy to get back home. I didn't care much for schooling.
You didn't like your classes?
Oh, there were a whole lot of reading, not nearly enough doing. Like, before they'd issue you a wrench, they wanted an essay on the design of different wrenches. Then there'd be quizzes on company regulations for storage and maintenance of wrenches.
What did you do in your time off?
As soon as I got permission, I spent all my time in the machine shop. They had all manner of parts, but they didn't want me using them, so I had to sneak them sometimes. I even slept in there. Had a hammock tied up in the rafters. Before I left, I installed a little skylight for myself, so I could see the stars.
You didn't have your own room?
Students bunk 4 to a room. It's supposed to get you used to working as a team. There's no privacy and no quiet. When my roommates tried to talk, I'd get so nervous I'd be drenched in sweat. It was easier for everybody when I stayed off on my own. I doubt any of them remember me now.
After school, you moved back to Edgewater?
Yep, nothing much had changed. Everything was a little grayer, a little dirtier. Dad met me at the shuttle and gave me a big ol' hug. I noticed straight away that he was moving slower and stiffer. He made a little grunt when I squeezed.
Did you get much time with him after you got back from school?
About a year. I tried to do more of the work so he could rest. His heart gave him pains. Dad never said that he loved me, you know? I knew on account of him showing it. How he'd stay up late to help with my projects or listen to my fretting. Oh gosh. Look at the time. Sorry to bend your ear so long. And I got so much to do before this ship's in decent shape.
What do you think of the ship?
That's in pretty good shape considering how hard Mr. Hawthorne ran it. It's a Yakita LHA 120, A2 model, I'm pretty sure. The Block 2 design scooshed in extra cargo space but didn't change the stock engines. Probably a touch underpowered, huh?
Accurate in all particulars. I conclude you are Edgewater's board-certified mechanic.
The ship computer, it's not intelligent, but it does a good imitation. Apparently Ada is the one who actually flies the ship.
Fly-by-wire's pretty normal. Or leastways, that's what I read in the trades. I've never been on a real ship before. Hello! I am not a board-certified mechanic, but my dad was. He taught me all he knew. Do you understand?
Speech recognition is one of the many skills I have been programmed to simulate.
You're not simulating it, you're doing it! I asked a question and you answered it.
I am gratified you consider this facsimile convincing.
What do you think, Pravati? Is this safe to fly now that we've got the regulator?
I don't see any holes in the hull. I'll take a good squint at her, make sure everything's tip-top. But I think we're cooking with plasma torches. You can do that, you know. My dad taught me how to make grilled cheese sandwiches with a plasma torch.
Time's over. I'd do the same thing if I could. Plasma torch, grilled cheese. I like grilled cheese. That's just me. Alright, let's see. Break that down. Huh. It's a nice medium. I think I'll put that on. Increases my tech skills. Modify. What do we got? Already have the sight. Let's see. Y'all get to watch me poke at mods for half an hour, going, oh, well, do I like this? Actually, I was gonna put this one on, I think. Oh, I like that. Put that on. Cool. Alrighty, well, let's head to the Groundbreaker.
Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
Cool. Alright. This means that we're gonna be able to explore a new place. Finally. So far, it looks like the stream's holding up okay. I was getting an odd memory spike earlier, but it seems to have calmed down. So, keep an eye on it.
Let's talk when you're free.
What's the story?
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson.
What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Sure, we could have her head over to engineering now.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
I love providing. Love her so much. Alright, let's head to the Groundbreaker. And yeah, let's just take Pravati.
Captain. Hey, Captain. I'm in space. I never thought I'd be able to say that.
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure. Welcome to Groundbreaker, by the by.
Thank you.
Don't mind the heat. Got a few days before it reaches critical. I'm sure Miss Chief Tennyson will get it sorted before then.
Or, you know, I'll help.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this. Need a drink.
And Felix.
Going for a stroll around the docking base?
Noticed you were in the middle of an argument earlier.
Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs.
I heard you knocked someone out with a tossball stick.
The guy insulted my Rizzo's Rangers, all right? You can't just insult my Rangers and expect to get away with it. So, of course, I decked him with a tossball stick. I mean, what am I? Some kind of fair-weather fan?
Okay, slow down. What exactly did you do?
Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting.
Oh boy.
Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation.
Got any plans?
Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
That's me, Captain of the Unreliable.
Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time.
I never caught your name. I'm mobile.
Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Felix Millstone. See you around, Felix.
See you around, boss.
I like Felix too. Like, I like... So far, all like the first 4 companions, I like 3 of them. Oh, I didn't realize I was stealing that. No one saw. Cool.
Customs and inspection, right this way.
Captain Gunnar McRed, for several counts of public intoxication, destruction of Groundbreaker property, unpaid docking fees, and resisting arrest. Contract Commandant Sanita? If you have any information concerning McRed's whereabouts, failure to report a tip may result in imprisonment and fine. Proof of kill required to collect reward. Phineas Wells. Various crimes and violations of board policy, including any or all of the following: sedition, forgery, conspiracy, conspiracy to commit conspiracy, unlicensed medical practice, destruction of board property.
I wonder what that fella did to get the board so wild at him.
Apparently a whole lot of nothing. Sell some junk. Cool. Alright. Here we go.
Identification, please.
Here you go.
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably.
I take it back. I'm not Hawthorne, and that isn't my ship. I know, right? Isn't that rude? Like, we just got here, and they're just like, by the way, you're stuck here now. Sorry. How do I get this resolved?
You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it.
Of course. Any idea why my ship was impounded?
Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I have to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important.
Great, I'll go talk to him and straighten this out.
You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor?
Sure.
Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it.
Got it.
Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Seems like there's some tension between the board and Groundbreaker.
You noticed, huh?
I'm sharp like that.
What can I say? We're passionate folks, and the board can't abide that independent spirit, especially not when it might impact their bottom line. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them.
Yeah, your station's in a state of disrepair. You could make the board fix it. I'm glad it terrifies them, the bastards keep pushing them.
It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new Groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we may do all right. So far, anyway.
The board runs most of the system, don't they?
Yep. Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing base. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year.
Thanks for the info.
Sure thing.
Can I find a job around here?
Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. Two biggest operations are the board, that is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though.
Looking for something a little more local.
Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Jun Lei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
How about something long-term?
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste your time. Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker tend to be inherited, or go to a fellow crew member's kid. Keep it in the family, you know.
How does Halcyon's holding work, anyway?
Are you pulling my leg?
I'm new around here.
You must be one of them long-haul freighters from outside the colony. Well, I won't hold it against you. Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board.
How does the Groundbreaker fit into this?
Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we are.
So there's actually a boardroom somewhere where with all these company heads in it?
Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the inside of it myself.
Board runs most of the system, don't they?
Yep. Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing base. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year.
So, an interesting thought was that if the Groundbreaker was the original colony ship, it would explain a little bit why they wouldn't want the Hope to exist per se, because Groundbreakers caused them enough strife. If they had two ships like that, it would probably cause a lot of issues in the grand scheme of things, with like two massive colony ships basically revolting and doing things their own way.
Glad to help.
What do you know about Sublight Salvage?
They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them.
I didn't think there were many independent operators in the system.
Relative to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either.
That's all I need to know about work.
All right.
What can you tell me about Udom Bedford?
He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. Sure thing.
Looking for someone named Gladys.
The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly.
I'm looking for a drink. Any recommendations?
Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right.
Got it.
You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony.
See you around.
Be seeing you.
A workbench, cool. Alright.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The Mardet's offices aren't for leisure time nor loitering.
I'm interested in that McRed bounty. Where can I find him?
Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? Do the legwork.
I'll take the posting.
You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me McRed's head, or his lucky lighter, as proof of kill. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good luck and skip speed to you.
So what's it like working security detail on space station?
Do I look like your gossipy best friend? While I'm on post, I take my duties real serious. I would have no qualms whatsoever escorting you to a cell. Understand?
Oh, alright. I'm just trying to make conversation.
I'm not here for a chat. Now get moving before I see you moved.
What's up, Mardet?
We're the security force here on Groundbreaker. Started back before the crossing, you know.
Why Mardet, not guard or officer?
The original force was made up of a Marine detachment from the 77th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Trailward Fleet. Folks started calling us Mardets because it was easier to say. Guess it stuck.
I'll be on my way.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You were hearing things.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Who told you that?
Cool.
Rizzo's Purpleberry Punch. You want a punch? We've got your punch right here.
Alright, well, we're on the Groundbreaker. Not necessarily sure it's a good thing. Alright, well, let's see, what do we got in our journal here? I meant to ask Ada about the SAM unit. I'll have to go back and check on that. Drinking sapphire wine. So I want to go talk to Junli. Junli. Make sure Parvati gets introduced. For now, let's go,
Ooh, can we rent an upstairs room?
We interrupt a regularly scheduled advertisement for the following
Hello.
Bless my heart. A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient or an oven. Just like store-bought.
Phineas sent me. He said you could sell me a nav key to Stellar Bay.
Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. For the time being, at least. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you find yourself lacking in the bits, I might have an opportunity you'd be interested in.
Tell me about this opportunity.
Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. But if you've got qualms...
No qualms here. Let's hear the details.
Do you know Edna, over in engineering? Sweet as a pea, that one. On occasion, she'll pass along transmissions I might find interesting. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker's comm array. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years ago.
Why was Roseway abandoned?
Can't say I know for sure. Maybe it never really was.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress call manually.
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the board from sniffing around.
Say no more, I'm in.
You've got an ear for intrigue and a nose for bits. I like that. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the coordinates. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. Corporate bigwigs will pay top bit for inside information on their competitors. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs.
Abandoned outpost, corporate secrets, got it.
Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done.
What other jobs do you know about?
Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. She's been trying to get a handle on this heat problem we've got. You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a sweet girl, but law forfend someone call me a liar.
I'll ask you something else.
What do you want, then? My hard-earned wisdom?
You mentioned the Groundbreakers outside the board's control.
That's right, dearie. The only independent station in the colony. That's us. Though for how long, I can't say. That all depends on Miss Junlei.
How do you mean?
The board can't abide a community that won't bend to its will. They've always got one scheme or another running, looking for ways to bring us to heel. Like this heat business. Shameful. But it won't work. No, ma'am. Groundbreaker's free till the day she dies, law willing.
Back to my other questions.
Go right ahead, sweetheart.
What's this about the heat?
Groundbreaker's radiators. Been neither fine nor dandy for weeks now. Miss Junlei's supposed to be getting them fixed, but the board's determined to get in her way.
How do you mean?
The board can't abide a community that won't bend to its will. They've always got one scheme or another running, looking for ways to bring us to heel. Like this heat business. Shameful. But it won't work. No, ma'am. Groundbreaker's free till the day she dies, law willing.
Why'd the board recall Stellar Bay nav keys?
Ask the common folk, and they'll tell you it's on account of all the monsters on Monarch desperate to gobble you up. Because that's what the board tells them, you see. I think they made some fool mistake that would make them look bad to the rest of the colony, and they're trying to hide the evidence.
What makes you think that?
Those board folk are real prideful-like. Never want you looking behind the curtain, lest you see their derrieres. But old Gladys knows the score. The whole colony's not much more than a diorama, showcasing one board screw-up after another. That's why we gotta keep them from getting their grubby mitts on Groundbreaker. She's our mess.
Are there still people down there?
Probably. Every once in a while, we get these snippets of radio chatter. Edna shows them to me. Some man hooting and hollering about the light in us all. Claims he's transmitting from Monarch, but who knows if that's true. Might be true. Might be some new trick from the board.
Thank you for time.
Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me. Here, take a candy with you.
I like candy. I'm gonna have to go have some Sour Patch Kids after the game tonight. All right. Let's do that. Let's head to the sick bay. Update on the fight. I have to mess with this guy. It's a requirement.
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a zero-G brew extra refreshing. It's an ale that's good for what ails you. Oh, and it's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. Taste the freedom. A lot of slogans to keep track of. Sometimes I forget.
This guy's so sad. his hat. I found one in my first playthrough, and I wore it and went up and talked to him, and I was like, "Hey, look, same hat," and he couldn't care less. It was the funniest damn thing I'd ever heard. I love this guy and the conversations with him. Do you work for Spacer's Choice? Ever been to Edgewater?
Heard of it. My orientation aether wave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I'm sure smells as good as it looks.
It's not so bad. They're struggling, but they've got good hearts.
Yeah. I hope they're gonna be okay.
That's the Spacer's Choice spirit. Take what you have, polish it up, and make the best of it. So, what can I get you? Some soap? Everyone loves soap. Everyone will love you for using it, too.
I've got to ask you about the hat.
I'm bound to satisfy headgear-related inquiries. Please send any complaints to our Consumer Care Headwear Division.
You doing all right in there?
Oh, I'm having a stellar day. And not just because I'm legally obligated to say so. Almost as stellar as a Spacer's Choice is affordable.
Can you see in there?
I can see all of the top-quality merchandise in the Spacer's Choice catalog, which is available here at a reasonable price.
How do you brush your teeth?
Spacer's Choice regrets that we don't sell toothpaste at this time, but we're always working on delivering exciting new products to our customers. Sprout Wash, Mouthwash, and Mantafloss are among the exciting line of dental goods currently in development.
Do you miss eating solid food?
Don't miss out on these deals. You'll find none like them on all of Groundbreaker, or anywhere in the Halcyon colony.
Do you have to sleep with that on?
Trouble sleeping? Try our Lunar Eclipse mix. That's 2 handfuls of pep pills washed down with a hearty swig of 2-hour energy brew. The blast will send you through the stratosphere, and the crash will knock you out cold, guaranteed.
Where can I get a hat like yours?
You would never ask if you knew what it's like in here. I mean, why, anyone can be a Spacer's Choice Consumer Relations Choice Specialist. Just keep your nose clean and aim for the...
I love this guy. I feel so bad for him, but I love it at the same time. His torment brings me so much joy. And have hat talk. Let's see what you're saying.
Have a look.
I've got a decent discount here. All right.
Are you listening to me, Emperor? You can't get me out of there.
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene.
I love that guy, and he's sad, and it's funny.
What seems to be the problem?
Can I buy supplies from you? You seem well stocked.
Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. Supplies are hard to come by out here.
How do you mean?
We don't have the ability to manufacture our own medical supplies here on Groundbreaker. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics, as well as more critical resources like adequately trained staff. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use their branded drugs, and that's simply not tenable. Take care.
I'm sorry. Am I causing a scene? See, Umfuru? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jessie in the first place.
What's this about your friend?
Let me get one thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay?
As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors.
Wait, you don't even like her and you're checking in on her?
You say that like it's weird.
It's none of my business, I was just curious.
I just don't like to leave a debt unpaid, that's all.
Maybe I can look into Jesse.
Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
Alright.
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter captain? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble with our delivery service.
Wheeler said your shipment won't be coming in soon.
He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into another scrape. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna get my service mechanicals at this rate.
Who's Irion?
Our delivery man. A brave idiot with a penchant for getting himself delayed. Sometimes by dates, usually by bandits.
I could try to find him.
I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws.
Okay. Ah. Take a look. Getting a little bit of a spike here. Save. Nothing too bad though. Alright, drinking sapphire wine.
CNP Borston Baked Beans. When you need to eat and run, Borston Baked Beans is the only one.
Following that series? The Hunt for the Wimbrel?
The pirate ship? I don't go in for docu-serials.
Sprouts vendor.
Hearty greeting, potential customer. Welcome to Auntie's Kitchen, a home-style consumable protein dispensary. May this unit dispense proteins for your ingestion.
Aren't you just a glorified vending machine?
This unit is programmed to simulate shock at such assertions. Shock simulation non-functional. A trouble ticket has been filed.
Let me take a look at that. Maybe I can fix it.
Shock simulation restored. Initiating shock subroutine. How dare you? Shock subroutine complete. Estimated guilt level of customer increased by 35%. Resuming protein dispensation protocol. May this unit dispense proteins for your ingestion.
All right now. Toasty back through here, isn't it?
Those XF411s? And an old Yakita 3.7? You think they'd let me peek at the power plant?
Alcohol finals are scheduled to air soon.
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker doesn't see many visitors.
Opal, nice place you got here, Chief.
No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any problems while you're visiting.
I'll do whatever I can to help you keep the peace.
Good. Don't go making trouble, and chances are you won't find any. That's how I like it here. So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just passing through.
Once I get out of Impound, I'm bound for Monarch.
Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right weapon for the job. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders. You seem different, so welcome aboard.
Parvati, you wanted to talk to Jun-Li.
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei. Chief Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if, well, maybe you could teach me some things. I could message you later, maybe?
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
Parvati, don't be shy about requesting time off if you need to compare notes in person.
Right. In person. Sure thing, Captain. Wow, great. I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Oh, your name's pretty too. I should have said... Sorry. I like it. Honest. Sorry.
Nice job, Parvati.
Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts of the ship begging for my attention.
I heard you were having a heat problem. What's going on?
Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated air into my ship.
Why haven't you fixed them yet?
Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me into a corner.
I'm sure there's surely the board doesn't want the Groundbreaker to roast.
They want us to sweat, thinking that'll soften me up for a bad faith deal. If you'll excuse me, they can go fuck themselves. The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker, everyone aboard, will be cooked alive.
Is there any way I can help?
We'd be grateful for your assistance. According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bays.
Okay. But there's a catch, right?
The back bays are on a lower deck, long abandoned and a haven for miscreants now.
Have you tried sending anyone else down there to get the part?
I have. One of my engineers, plus a small security detail. They didn't come back. I can't afford to lose any Mardits on this job. No offense, but a freelancer like you is more dispensable.
None taken. None taken.
Nice and pragmatic. Thanks for understanding.
Can't get these parts anywhere else.
You must not have been here long. In Halcyon, new parts come by way of interstellar freighters from Earth, and the board monopolizes that kind of trade. That means I'd have to negotiate with the board. I've already given them the shops, the docking fees, and a damn embassy.
Their negotiations sound like a bureaucratic coup.
Damn right. And while I'm captain of the Groundbreaker, it falls to me to preserve this ship's independence.
Couldn't we try to talk this out with whoever's down there?
Those idiots are immune to reason, and they don't much care if the station melts to pieces. They're content to die last. If you could find some way to solve this without violence, I'd prefer that. But more than anything, we need those parts.
I'll get those parts from the back base.
Good. Once you've obtained the parts, we can proceed to the next phase of repairs.
Uh-oh. Game stuttering. Cool, okay. I'm gonna save. Because that was a solid freeze there for a second. But I got it back. Let's see. It's not memory this time, so that's something. But graphics card looks like it's getting a little impacted. Might be getting a little hot. It's probably only gonna get worse as summer goes. Let's see if I can turn down some of the graphical settings. That's a good question. The room itself's kind of warm, but let's see. GPU. Not too bad. It's only at 74. It's warm, but it's not anywhere near its throttling point yet. I am very aware of that. I'd open the window. But actually, speaking of, I hear a cat howling at the door. Give me 1 second. Alright. Yeah, hi Cadence. I have a cat now. Come on. You wanna hop up? She's just wandering around my feet screaming. I'm gonna turn down shadows a little bit. Hey. Oh, yes. Okay, let's go back to this.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled time.
Alright, Hi. Oh, I have a Cadence. Hello. Hi. Oh, yes, that's my mouth. She says hello, don't you? Wanna lay down? Yeah, come here. Yeah. You're very vocal. Yes, everyone on the internet can hear you. All 2 viewers. Yes, hello. Yes. Hey. Hi. Oh, that's nice. Come here. Yeah. Hey, come on. Come lay down. Lay down on your pillow. Alright. I've got cat hair in my mouth.
Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the capture of noted terrorists beneath wells.
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker.
These stairs are board property. Disperse now, or I'll detain you for trespassing.
Oh, real scary. You're really gonna arrest us on our station?
Yeah, this is Chief Junlei's ship. You don't own shit here.
Step back! I'm required by board bylaws to use excessive force.
The Mardettes would space you for trying, you waste of O2 scrubbers.
Yeah, O2 scrubbers.
Look, just get out of here before I tell your captain what you've been getting up to on the clock.
Ah, whatever. We got a date at the Lost Hope anyway.
Is this really what you want to be doing with your life, Marcy? Guarding stairs for that walking mustache Rudolph fucking Bedford? I gotta get off this detail.
Alright, so, bullet journal. Alright, let's see, we got some messages from Jay Tennyson. Anyone seen Private Taylor? Haven't seen him in days, and here we are. And where are we on that toilet clock? If Chief Guoying taught me anything, it's that the crew's morale is proportional to the quality of their outhouse. If you take away the crew's plumbing, you take away their privacy and dignity. So let's get that toilet fixed. To Wildcat. Even though it's been nigh on 20 years since our last meetup on the Groundbreaker, I was hoping you could get the old gang back together. I understand that things have changed. Some of us are long-range haulers, some of us have gone corporate, some of us are likely dead, and some of us are on Tartaris not reading this message, but I haven't lost hope. No one responded to my last invite. I hope that means your schedules are full up with family gatherings and job opportunities. Stay free, freelancers. Hi all. So I got off ice from around. I just got off ice from a round trip to Dashkova 2 years out, 2 years back. Imagine my surprise when we de-thawed and Groundbreaker comms told us the docking was going to be delayed. 1 hour turned into 5, then days went by. In the end, we spent an entire goddamn week at the berth of this law-fucked bolt bucket. That's a sentence. And because we were kicking our heels at the time, not a one of us got paid. I don't know about you, but I believe I got expenses, a family, I don't see enough debt you wouldn't fucking believe, and even if I'm not working, I still gotta make my payments. Does that seem proper to you? Don't we conveyors have rights? We should do something about this. If you agree, leave a message here and I'll respond when we get back from the Gensan in 3 years. Iceman out. Alright. Now I know I can't get the ship out, but I'm gonna head back to the dock real quick.
Didn't the board rep's office used to be in the docking base?
Yeah, about 10 years back. That was
I've got a cat hair tickling my nose now. Thanks, Cadence.
Rizzo stretches Wanda.
See if they'll let me on the ship, because I'd like to try and talk to Ada real quick. Looks like a no, because the bridge is all up. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get my ship out of impound.
Rizzo's Knocking Out Bar, a CCN 76 milk chocolate bar with caramel and bakery peppermint. It's one for a KYO.
Alright.
I'm just gonna hang in the back and try not to touch anything.
Probably for the best.
This is Halcyon News.
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. He must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not he. Has something happened to my favorite scruffy freelancer?
Alex is dead.
Oh no, this is terrible. My dear friend, what devilry is this? In whose miserable fever dream am I trapped?
I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, Alex. There were so many arguments we'd yet to have.
What was your relationship with him?
He was my dearest friend. My only friend. You have his ship, you must know. That picture of us on the promenade, me hugging him, him wincing. I keep a copy beside my bed. Did he?
Yep, he sure did.
Ah, that's just like him. Such a sentimental man. Tell me, how did he die?
He died in an escape pod accident.
Oh, awful business that. But why? How? No. Best not to ask after the gory details.
Again, I'm very sorry. Can we get back to the topic at hand?
Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where Wells might be? Anything at all?
Alex never mentioned Phineas Wells.
That's... well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me. Is there anything else I might help you with?
What says about the board having your head?
It's personal business, I'm afraid. Miserably, terribly personal.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Information on the whereabouts of Phineas Wells would go a long way. It's... well, it's my white whale, I suppose.
I can't tell you what Wells is.
It's fine. Really, it's perfectly fine. I understand. Now, if you've nothing else, please see yourself out. I'd like to drown myself in work.
I'll ask you something
Be
else.
my guest.
What do you do here exactly?
I'm the certified representative of the board's interests here on the Groundbreaker. I'm their eyes, ears, and busy little hands.
Big fish in a small space station. Nice setup.
I have few complaints.
Does it seem hot in here to you?
Ugh. Law, but it's miserable. My underarms are damp. How can I be expected to work in these conditions? Chief Tennyson is supposedly looking into the cause, but I've seen no action from her. Deplorable conduct. My superiors will be hearing about it. You can be certain of that.
She's doing everything she can. It's your people's fault it's not fixed, not June Lay's.
My, aren't you, excitable.
Don't talk to her that way.
Oh, sweetie. I don't owe a grease-stained wrench jockey like her the time of day, let alone my deference.
Take it back now.
I'm sorry, my temper got away from me. Please accept my sincerest apologies to you and your friend.
Does that work for you, Pravati?
Oh, I'm not used to folks saying sorry. It's not all right exactly, but I appreciate the apology, I guess.
Well, now that that's dealt with, was there anything else you wanted to discuss?
Why are there armed guards in here?
Oh, you've noticed my friends. Wonderful. Aren't their guns very large? Tremendously impressive. They're here to keep the peace, of course.
To watch your back, you mean?
Precisely. Groundbreaker makes much ado about its independent status and so resents any board presence, no matter how benign.
You call keeping officers on their promenade benign?
When the alternative is board guards at their gates, yes, I do. They don't see it that way, of course, but I can't say I much care.
What are those locked doors in the back?
A luxury stateroom, reserved for Chairman Rockwell's use.
So you get to play butler to the big guy. Fun.
To serve at our most esteemed chairman's behest is an honor, and one I'm most thankful for. As this office is the primary embassy for the board on Groundbreaker, corporate bylaws specifically state a room must be maintained for the chairman's exclusive use. Ask away.
Well, leveled up. All right. Cool. All right. Alright, so my ship should be free. I'm not ready to leave yet, but if I remember correctly...
When might we expect you out here again? Canned surfish is already sold out again.
Who knows? Halls are scarce. Back in Triangulum, there were hundreds of space hands idle.
If I remember correctly, we can get Felix to join our group, and he is necessary for some future stuff.
Hey, you got a second?
Sure.
Fancy running into you again. Don't mind me. It's just admiring your ship from up close. Gotta hand it to you, boss. That's a fine-looking ship. Only thing it's missing is me.
You're pretty eager to throw in with someone you barely know.
Yes, I absolutely am. Just give me a shot. That's all I'm asking. I could be the best damn crew you ever hired.
Okay, Felix. Wait. Okay, Felix, consider this your interview.
Sure, an interview. That sounds fair. I mean, first time for everything, right? Ask me anything you like.
What's the value of pie?
It's delicious. Mock apple pie and a tripicale crust. Maybe with a little cream on top. Classic.
What's your biggest flaw?
Foreman told me my biggest problem was that I didn't take orders. I told him my problem is not with authority, it's with jackasses. So yeah, I guess my biggest flaw is that I don't suffer idiots. Hope that's not a deal breaker.
Are you any good in a fight?
Are you kidding? I love a good fight. One time, I took an autoloader's head clean off its servos with one swing of a tossball stick. You can count on me in a scrap, boss. That's a promise.
Perfect. You're hired.
Wow. You don't know how long I've been waiting to hear that. Thanks, boss. You're not going to regret this.
You got a crew now, Felix.
Cool. All right.
Somehow, I always find my way back to the Groundbreaker.
So how'd she end up on the Groundbreaker?
Didn't I tell you? I'm secretly the chairman's orphan child, abandoned at birth in the back bays.
Then you were raised by a pack of sprats, right?
That's right. Can't get anything past you, boss. Honestly, before you picked me up, I was living in the back bays. Spent my whole life up there, watching ships roll in and take off. I always wondered when my ship would come. I was what folks on the Groundbreaker call a stowaway. Means I was invisible. Life carried on for everybody else, but not for me. I had to make my own way.
At least you weren't obliged to anybody else. You were free.
Stowaways ain't free. We were just as trapped as anybody else. We didn't belong in the system, but we still had to live in it. We still had to play by the board's rules. Imagine spending your whole life looking out at the stars and knowing you could never aspire to be anything more than a box hauler. That's what it's like.
Sounds rough, Felix. Where'd you find the work?
Hauling boxes was about the only work I could find. Hated every second of it. Foreman and I never got on.
Right, the incident with the tossball stick.
Could be I was overreacting. A better man might have turned the other cheek. Exercised a little bit of that, what's the word? Restraint? But on the other hand, broadsiding the jackass with a tossball stick, that felt good. That felt real good. You ought to try it.
If we have a disagreement, I expect you to be civilized.
Oh, I can do civilized. Proper civilized, too. Genuflecting and everything. I caught a real lucky break. If you hadn't picked me up, I'd still be back at the docks, waiting for the day my ship arrives.
I mean, you're on the dock still, buddy, but... I'm glad you're not wasting your life hauling boxes.
Yeah. I guess my ship did arrive in the end. I've got you to thank for that. Thanks for listening, boss. Let's get going.
All right. Felix. There we go. Let's boost that persuade. I am a persuasive person. Or I like to pretend I am. Alright, so... Alright, so we're gonna go downstairs. Take a look-see.
Rizzle's Purple Berry Crunch, Triple Flakes, and Purple Berry flavored Power Nuggets. Now with 1% more crunch. Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the capture of noted terrorist Vinny's Wells. Report any sightings to your local board and the...
Save real quick.
Who the... Hey, McRed, were you expecting any company?
A neighbor from above approaches our realm. Back away now, or you'll parley with the king.
Hey, I know this guy.
Look at this ripe piece of meat just sizzling on the grill. Yum, yum. Time to feed the flames. It's nothing personal. Promise. First, I'm gonna... Hey, Felix! Look, everyone, it's Felix!
Well, hey there, your lordship. Good to see you again.
Is this a nice man, a friend of yours, Felix?
Seeing you here feels like old times. Now, what brings you down to my sprat-infested broom closet of a kingdom?
I'm here for some parts. Felix, you know this guy?
Sure, everybody knows Captain McRed, terror of the back bays and purveyor of rare fungi.
Felix is a good kid. Bad habits, poor judgment, awful taste. But we like him down here.
How did you end up back here?
Ship got impounded. The crew and I racked up a debt while we were grounded, and my baby got sold to Sublight. Scrapped for parts. That's bureaucracy for you. Piracy with a smile.
Sounds a lot like what happened to me.
Am I your dark reflection? Shit, must be getting old. Stay here too long, and the Groundbreaker drains you like a fuel tank.
I'm here for some parts Junlei sent me.
That's right, sir. Just the parts. We'll be in and out in a jiff. You won't even know we were here.
Tennyson just keeps feeding the furnace, don't she? We're still playing with her last sacrifice out back, with the crew.
Can I grab the part then?
You don't just ask a king for a favor when you're standing in his court. You bring tribute, sacrifices, prophecy, shit like that.
Here's 658 bits.
Tribute it is. And ain't this just a royal sum?
Wow, look at you, boss. Impressing his lordship with your courtly manners.
Don't we need those bits, Captain? To buy the key from the lady?
You've got the run of the kingdom. Up those stairs, you'll find the parts. My crew won't get in your way. Lay it on me, boss. I'm good for it.
There's a bounty on your head. I want to claim the reward.
Listen to the fire of those convictions. This one's hungry for justice. Alive or dead. Rare or medium. What's it gonna be? How do you want me cooked, bounty hunter?
No need for violence. Give me a lighter and the bounty disappears.
My flame? Shit. Little flick here got me started on the pyro path. Fine. He's yours. Give him a good home.
Well, that's a relief. Wasn't too keen on the thought of coming to blows with you.
Don't worry, Mr. McRed. We'll treat Mr. Flick extra nice on account of he's your friend.
I'll miss my baby Pyro, but it beats losing my head. This court needs its king, and I'm one of a kind.
Wait, the engraving on here. Does it say Sanita on it?
Keen eyes you got there. Sanita gave me this lighter. We had a carnal understanding a few years back, and she wanted me to have something to remember her by.
McRed, is this another one of those situations where you're confusing reality with a mushroom trip?
Mushrooms put the reality in reality, Felix. Without mushrooms, it's all just unreal.
Now it feels like I'm tripping from hearing that. Bye.
Smells kind of like old Bess's outflow pipes.
Good stuff. I've been tripping for days.
Careful with that shit. You'll end up as crazy as he is.
It takes crazy to live in this universe.
If you were one of the original colonists, this place would have been your home.
Yeah. Looks very familiar.
You're the first person I've seen who talked their way past McRed. That may not sound like much, but take my word for it. Wow.
I came to grab some radio parts. Engineering could use your help installing them.
I'll get back to my post. See you topside, stranger.
Alright, let's grab those parts.
Get that automech patch? McRed wants it up and running.
I'm trying to think of a good name before I wake it up.
Don't give it a name.
People don't like worms in their shrooms.
Once I figure out which direction I'm supposed to go to get to the parts. Oh, there's a ladder.
Today is my birthday.
Oh yeah? Fuck your birthday.
Alright.
Bet we could do some good with these.
I won't steal from them. They've been nice to me. But I am curious about exploring the space a little bit.
This place is falling apart.
Okay, let's head back topside. Any real food in this place? No. At least from what I've read. What I understand of this place is that food doesn't exist. It's all just objects.
Was a time I wanted to be an engineer.
I could spend all day in here and not have looked at half the best stuff. It's all pretty worn, though.
Do you have what it takes to defend your corporate?
You've returned, and in one piece. Color me impressed.
I got the parts for the radiators. What now?
Good work. I'll take those. I need you to head through the large door at the far end of engineering. Take the elevator down into the machinery shaft. There's a terminal in the back. Activate it when I call over the ship's PA. And bring weapons. There's a slight mantipillar infestation.
Define slight.
More than a few. Less than a hive. Nothing you can't handle. We were salvaging parts from a ship. Turned out there were eggs inside. They got into the radiators, and here we are.
I'll make my way down.
Don't worry, Miss Junlei. We'll be super gentle with the ship. You don't got a thing to worry about. I mean, aside from fires and such.
I'm genuinely heartened to hear that. Thank you.
All right.
The controls are in the back of the machinery staff area. Keep clear of the radiators. But I'd be my straight think about dying.
All right. A little toasty down here. Ah. Keeps spontaneously combusting.
Good news, strong health and security mechanicals booted up and killed a bunch of mantis. Bad news, diagnostic says their circuit boards are fused from the heat, so they're not too picky about who they kill next.
Cool.
Sneak fast if you can. Shoot back if you need to. You can always fix it.
I have to go the long way.
No!
Okay.
That's the last of them!
Cool. I survived. And there they scratch on me. Let's unlock that.
That's the terminal. I have the parts in position on my side. Go ahead and cycle the droplet pumps.
Staff is getting restless. Workaround and half-cooked solutions are all we've got to mend Groundbreaker's bones. In many cases, we can't revive one system without cannibalizing another. Grandma lived with that reality, and so will I. I can rally our spirits, but what happens when I'm not around? Groundbreaker's real test will be seeing if our independence outlasts us. I'll take that bet. Found some of Chief Guiying's old schematics. Groundbreaker must have taken a beating during the crossing because she spent half of her career patching it up. A lot of corners cut when they put this place together. Among her papers, I also found the layout of a hangar that doesn't match any of the docks. Something that might have gotten sealed off along the way, like blood cells isolating an infection. I hate to put sentiment down in print, but every time I open a panel or find some workaround in the guts of this old bird, I feel like you reaching out to me from the past, Grandma.
Done. The temperatures are dropping. Stop by once you found your way out of there. Groundbreaker.
Will do. To HHB Earth HQ transmitted via probe archived at source. It is my honor to report that Groundbreaker successfully arrived at the Lagrange point, having released our cargo of prefab housing, settlers, and supplies to their intended colony worlds. May they prosper and expand. Now that stages 1 and 2 of the mission have been carried out, my family will take ownership of the Groundbreaker as specified in our contract, keeping the ship in active duty as an independent trading post, repair shop, and cargo bay. I'd be remiss if I closed this transmission without sending my hopes and best wishes back to Earth. There's so much ahead of us, but we'll never forget what we left behind. Chief Goying. Some very rich and unsavory elements among our colonial neighbors seem to have the wrong idea about why I flew us out here. It wasn't for a 9-figure blood money salary and a Space Detroit logo slapped on my ass. It wasn't to nickel and dime passing ships out of their last bit. Groundbreaker has no role in the success or failure of Halcyon's corporate entities, period. I negotiated that understanding and clearly outlined it in writing before I ever set foot on the ship. If anyone wants to dispute or compromise our independence, they will answer to a Tennyson. We're a family operation. Even when our last Tennyson fails, Groundbreaker will remember us and defend its freedom accordingly. Alright, let's head on up. I'll probably end up wrapping up the stream here shortly. Let's turn into...
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
My boards are returning to green. What a weight that is off my shoulders. I don't normally tolerate outsiders mucking about in my station's guts, but you're all right. The temperature should be dropping as we speak. I'll see to it the crew knows who kept us all from boiling alive. If you've got time, I believe Edna has a comms issue that could use your attention. I've also authorized Doc and Furu to sell you our premium meds.
What's it like being in command around here?
Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranty, so I have the pleasure of making life or death decisions on a shoestring budget. Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document fixes in a way that anyone outside the family would understand.
This ship is a family business?
Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the Groundbreaker. My grandmother, Chief Gaying, kept it together during the crossing and until she died. I was promoted only recently, when my mom died. Then I took the leap from chief engineer to captain.
They must have been amazing people to have taught you all you know, I mean, which is a lot.
That means a lot coming from a fellow engineer.
Condolences, Junlei. I'm sure those are some big shoes to fill.
Appreciate it. There wasn't much that took me by surprise about the job, but the little things you never expect or think about, they add up over time. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This ship is family. It's got tinkerings and bypasses that only Tennysons know about.
Parvati here could always help you shoulder the burden.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm really just a dab hand with a wrench. Nothing special. Not like a chief engineer.
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seasoned pro to tinker on Groundbreaker. Just someone who knows how a ship ought to feel. We're always thirsting for help. If you could find your way around this labyrinth of ducts and panels, we could work something out. You've got my attention.
Alright. I'm going to save and stop right here. And give my computer a little bit of a rest because it's getting a little toasty in my room, and it shouldn't be. So yeah, let's head back to the main menu here. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight that came out and watched. I know I only played 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but I shouldn't overdo it. And plus, this game's a little taxing on my computer. Tomorrow night, I might play more of this. Not sure yet. I might play something else. Might play a one-off. Maybe I'll play Gone Home or something. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. But yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone who came out and watched and enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've got a suggestion for a game, actually, because I know most of you are ready and talk to you. So if you got ideas, I'll hear them. Next week, I was hoping by tomorrow I'd have it, but next week I'm going to be trying something different on stream. It's going to be like an art stream kind of thing, so we'll see. It probably won't be tomorrow because I don't think I'm going to get what I'm supposed to get tomorrow, so it'll probably be next Thursday. But anyway, yeah, I ramble. So thank you all. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.